Sara-Lee Armstrong.
I'll link to her. I follow her channel. She's this gorgeous junk journals, this beautiful ephemera, and I got bit. I ordered 3 things. I ordered a mystery box. I ordered an annual, and I ordered some postcards. Let me do the postcards first. The Fort Margate. It's got horses and carriages on it. This is London, the Thames. Got some watercolory background on that one. A steam carriage, or a sled. No, it's a carriage with, it's a horse-led carriage. I don't have dates on these. Oh, 04, 09. Rail yard. Not so exciting. Another one of Margate. This one, I guess, right on the front. And it's in French. Madame something, 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 something. That's a pretty one. Lochside Place, Oban. So this might be in Scotland, eh? And here's another lovely bucolic scene. Another Scottish address on that. Oh, upside down, Miss Jane. To remind you of an absent friend, a line or two in haste I send. That handwriting looks like mine. I have hope. After all, has 11 on it, so I'm going to guess 1911. St Albans. Upside down again. The refreshment rooms at New Brighton. Hope you feel better soon after your sale. Hope all's well from your loving daughter. Do we think someone was Hilda? Someone was made, this is 1910, made to write to their mother. The electric railway at Brighton. The parade at the Isle of Man. Oh, that looks yummy. Dover. Oh, look at those bathing carriages. So cool. All right, so those are the postcards I got. I want to look at this. I'm not going to... Oh, this is the back of it. This is the front. I'm confused. It has several covers. Bibi's Annual 1920. Look at the colour. Look at the colour. And I can put this because it's completely detached. Edited by Joseph Bibi. Who, we wonder, is Joseph Bibi? You can get them bound. This isn't obviously like the single issue one. So there are lots of illustrations, some text, the industrial imbroglio and the way out. Ooh, that might work for book 4. I'm going to speed up the flip of this because I take forever to go through every page. So enjoy. This is the mystery box. So this is just a mystery box of vintage for real ephemera. Let's go this way. Probably shouldn't smell these. It says Robert Stone's written on the front. It's an old deed of real estate. See if we can figure out it. Oh, look at that. Well, I'm sure this is not from 1510. Right? It can't be from 1510. That would be just wrong on so many levels. 1876. Much better. But oh my god. This is the stuff we live and die for. This one is from 1877. Some sort of receipt. This is upside down machine. This is on really nice rag paper, I think. Thing something. Oh my god, that is 1808. I do not feel so bad about my handwriting being illegible now. So this is the letter, and then you would fold it. You can see where the folds are really foldy. And then you would fold it. I have a fold here. Maybe you'd fold. Anyway, I'm not going to mess with it because that is seriously old. Again, really old. Just a single sheet of no, yes, no, yes, no. 2 sheets of paper. In a language I don't understand. Could be wrong. And here we have a nice, beautiful blue document. I just need to find the first page. Beautiful old document. It's a deed or part of a deed. I know we get these to put in our junk journals, but this is also history, you know, and I feel like this is just too damn beautiful to use. But I don't know what I'm going to do with it. All right, cigarette cards. Golfing cigarette cards. Churchman cigarettes. Then we have some cards that feel a little more modern. 1982. I guess that's technically vintage, even though, like first day cards. They are first day cards without the thing on them. Okay, interesting. And we have picture cards. They're like stuck into this book. Do we have a date on this? 1975 this was. That could be fun. Thinking a bit of book 4 and inventions and such. Oh wait, there's more. We have some photos. Well, love. They have names, these lost people. No. Somebody with his grandmother on a boat. Titanic story, anybody? This looks like the 1930s, maybe 1940s. Somebody's great-grandmother. Somebody at the Botanic Gardens of somewhere. Mary Saunders. A beautiful portrait. 1910s, I'm going to guess. Torn out of something. That's actually quite a candid shot for a, again, guessing 1920s. This is the 1940s. And this also is the 1940s, I think. So we have some German prayer cards. I'm going to guess that's Gethsemane. What's on the back of them? Yeah, these are for people who died. So he died in Antwerp in 1939. So there are 2 of those. Same person. Okay. We have a photo of a house. We have a photo of a fountain and a house. Fountain in front of Palace of Holyrood. We have a picture of a river. I love that. We have, I don't know if you see that, a child and their dog. And he's dressed as a pirate, maybe? And on the other side, we have a picture of a house. This is how I imagined Idathea's house looked like. Not that I could get a dollhouse that size, but flowers. I'm going to say on a grave, because isn't that cheery? Because there are gravestones back here. And then half of a bridge. This is James Davis. I'm sure you're glad to know that. And then these are flowers as well. May his love give thee peace. We have postcards. Where do you want to guess this is? Okay, and the answer is St. Thomas's, Newcastle upon Tyne in 1827 from a watercolour. We have windows from Chartres. Oh, I've been there. We have, oh, I want to say that's Wells. Oh, still Chartres. Then we have a picture of Philip of Spain, because why not? From the Dulwich College Gallery. I'm sure that is why. King Charles II. The parish church of St. Mary the Virgin, Holy Island of Lindisfarne, Northumberland. Oh, it has pictures inside. This doesn't look that old. And, oh, I'm going to get Chartres again. You'd be wrong. It's Gloucester Cathedral. Oh, nice bird ones. Oh, what kind of bird is that? That, my friends, is a woodcock. Raven. Bagpiper. That's where they practice, far away from anybody. Ludlow from Whitcliffe. No date. Somebody selling vegetables in the Caribbean. Caribbean or Caribbean? How do you say it? There's a beautiful tree. These are probably also from the Caribbean because they have the same deckled edge. Yep. And then it's a fish market. Yes. Oh no, what's happening? I can hear the bank's alarm bell. It sounds like a robbery. What you want to snatch the kid for, Frank? She'll be nothing but trouble. Shut up, laddie, and move it. If I hadn't grabbed her, we wouldn't be here by now. Okay. Yeah, so these are pages that have been cut out of a book. These are definitely lovely for the junk journaling side of things. I'm just gonna, they're all much for muchness. So, well, what's going to happen to Dilla? They better have put the whole story in here. Otherwise, I'm going to be seriously unhappy. No! That's the last page. This is the first page. Stella Star, policewoman from space. No! Well, at least I get the Stella Star story. And a story about the guardian tree. Goodness. And we're going to say this is 60s, right? Polly's Piglet. I am really upset that we didn't get the rest of Della in the dark. Now we're never going to know what happened to her. So now we have some envelopes. 1954. And then we have a piece of paper, which probably still doesn't smell. 1914, Thermere Aqueduct, a list of assessments and the poor rate, whatever. And then, oh, page of paper. Bible pages, lovely, with Boku commentary, which you know I'm going to read. And then we have ledger pages. So this is legit. Oh no, 1928. And then this, I mean, that is also almost officially antique. It's being difficult to get up. Children Education, 1928 also. Oh, the kids' heads are chopped off. Does it fold out? Oh, it would have folded out had it not been so torn. Wait. How does it fold out? Okay, so there's the top half with the tear in it. I'm very gentle. All right. And then here is the bottom half with the piglets, etc. And can she fold it back up again? So that's my haul. I am super excited. I probably spent way too much money because I remember with the postage from the UK to Australia, not cheap. But that was really lovely and special. So I'm very, very glad I did that because vintage journal pages, you don't get these any. Just don't see this stuff in Australia. Sorry, but you don't. And if you do see this stuff in Australia, tell me where. Please. I hate to be robbing of people's heritage, even if it's English people. She says snidely. This, even though I can't read it, to Monsieur's something Jones Porter, somewhere Leek? Is there a place called Leek? Richard Foster? This seems like a note when it was received, maybe. There's the hint of a stamp here. It is super thick paper. Like, okay, I know what my standard should be now. And it has been sealed at some point. There's a busted seal here. You can see where it's come off from where it's been folded. Because this would have been, I don't know how, but it would have been, I know when I fold my letters, it takes several goes to get it to fold small enough. Wow. So there we go. Mystery box. The rather sketchy, shall we say, Bibi's annual. And the postcards. This postcards was a separate order, separate item. Bibi's was a separate item. And I'm going to link to him below because, wow. The mystery box itself, yeah, I mean, these were an indulgence. And this, I just fell in love with the colours of the pictures because they're just so bright. Just so lush and saturated. I just had to. So there we go. And now I have to find a home for all of this, especially this beautiful big thing. This may go live with my vintage photos. Oh, hey, by the way, my name's Leanne. I'm an artist and a writer, and as part of writing the Mordrega Chronicles, I make ye olde vintage journals that they write in and have written in that I use to say that I transcribe to make the series. I'm working on book 4 right now, and I've been vlogging about the writing process, and it took a steep turn, and now we're on the up and up, I think, if I can just get some more time to write. And now we're going to segue into another haul. I went to my old university. They had a book fair there, and I was only going to get a bag's worth of books, and I got a bag and a box. And now I'm going to share that with you. Enjoy this second haul. And I will also be talking about some writing ideas. Particularly the Mordrega Chronicles what is it? It's a fantasy romance alternate history set during the Regency period about searching for Arthurian treasures to stop an ecological collapse of the world. That is the elevator pitch. Currently serializing book 3. A Sword for Wellington, books 1, Grail for Idethia and A River Trembles are now available to read. We also have a couple of other serials happening there, and today we're going to do a university book haul, and in the process, talk about my writing. Isn't that exciting? So the first space I went to was the rare books section. We have Memoirs of Harriet Wilson, volumes 1 and volumes 2. I'll put them like this so you can see them. Ta-da! So these are quite thick. Look at that foxing and that deckled edge of the paper. Lovely. They also have, can you see that? Really splintered at the last edges of their life bookmarks in there. These are not first editions because it's 1929. Someone has marked out their bookplate. Look at that foxing. All the stains and such. Apologies for the shaky camera. Here's a picture of her. 1929, according to this. 29, yeah, that works. This, I believe, originally came out in the 1850s, 1860s, so it's not a first edition. Harriet Wilson was a courtesan, or perhaps a little lower in the rankings when it comes to such things. And basically, at the end of her career, she wrote her memoirs. And she wrote to every single person that she had business transactions with and said, if you don't want to be in my memoirs, then you'd best pay up. So I guess this is one way to write a memoir, is get extra money, get people to not pay you. So some people paid. Given that it's 2 volumes, I'm guessing a lot of people ignored her. The Duke of Wellington said, publish and be damned, which is just so Duke of Wellington. I'm a huge Duke of Wellington fan, and you will see that in A Sword for Wellington, which is currently serializing because he's a minor character. Well, in The Swords for Wellington, how could he not be, right? The other thing in the rare book section was a Ye Olde pianola roll, which I haven't even looked at, but the title was called The Oceana Roll, Ragtime. Turn it that way as well. So, given that we have sea dragons in my series, I thought that would be cool. Then we have some sort of stamp thing there. It's a Master Touch roll. And unlike some of the other ones I have, it's actually pretty plain. But there you can see where the key's supposed to happen. I love pianola rolls. Let me grab this. I usually use them for crafting. I have pianola rolls that I've yet to use for crafting, but the goal is these make lovely pages, and this is a nice brown paper. Really good for crafting and then writing on the top of. So that was expensive. That was $5. The memoirs were only $15. And those were the 2 most expensive items that I got. And then as I was getting my little collector's kit from the rare book table, the gentleman said, would you be interested in this? The cover's coming off. He's right, the cover is coming off. It's a lovely, detailed cover. Can you see that? Look at that. It's a treasury of knowledge. I didn't even ask what date it was, but I saw the color plate and it went into place. And I'm like, ooh, yes please. Look, this is like so cool. Reptiles. Let's go back further. London's underground railways are extended. So I'm not sure what age this is. I can't even judge based on the... I'm going to have to go through and... I'm going to guess early 1900s. maybe the 1910s, 1920s. So this makes it an actual antique book. And I got it for $3. So that was the rare book section. I might actually have this book. This is a great book if you're writing for the Regency period. It talks about all sorts of things. I got it for $1. 1812 to 1822. The Modrigal Chronicles series starts in 1814 and it finishes in 1822. So, perfect. I'm writing book 4 right now. So I might have a quick skim of that to see if I've missed anything that could come into play for the story, because it's getting quite in the world as opposed to in the underwater world. And I'm trying to draw all these threads together for that. So that's The Age of Elegance by Arthur Bryant. If it's the one I actually still have in paperback, it's actually really quite good. Can recommend. This is the next book I got. The Reformation in England by Sir Maurice Powick. $2. I have a thicker book on the Reformation, but I picked that up because, it was $2. The Reformation's one of those periods that I want to write in, that I have a story for, but not quite enough research to pull off yet. So this, as a historical writer, you get to collect history books, and it's so much fun. Now, I need to start reading actual books instead of all the Substack serials I've been reading, but we'll get there. Then we have the historic city of Bath. Oh, look at that. And it even has a little pamphlet in there, brief notes about the various places. Which puts this, I think, in the 50s or 60s. This was $1. And she says she paid for it in 1952. But there are some beautiful pictures in here. I have a history of Bath. I probably have postcards of most of these pictures. But it was $2. For those of you who have read the Modrigal Chronicles, this is where Idathea and Jasper go in search of the Grail in the first book. Okay, now this is one of many, or a few, that I picked up. This is Prehistoric Britain. Now, the origin story of the Dregaimor, the sea dragons, goes all the way back to prehistoric Britain. It goes all the way back to when Stonehenge was built, or right before, actually. So to see pictures of these artifacts, like maybe you can describe similar things in the series. I mean, we've been in the underwater city of Kaer Morgana for quite a while now, but let us not say it's never too late to research. Very strange book, but it is, for $2, The Enigma of Stonehenge. I suspect this is quite outdated. It's first published in 1980. So, unbelievably, it's vintage. And there has been a lot of research done since. One of the reasons why the Dregaimor have a prehistoric beginning is because I went to an exhibit in Victoria, in Canada. The museum there had an exhibit on Stonehenge and all the latest research on it. And it talked about who built these, where all the different kinds of stones came from. And when you walk into a museum and your story idea brain just goes crazy. So this one has some more details on that. I think of the serial stories that I've done for the Modrigal Chronicles, the ones that would be closest would be the Arduin Branwen series. Started with Arduin and his mother's rice cakes. As they still have a chosen court, that tells me it's before King Arthur, the Dark Ages Britain, because at the time of King Arthur was the last chosen court. I really need to do a timeline, don't I? But so this Stonehenge idea sent me all the way back into the beginnings of the Draco-Mora, of how they became a people who fled England because they were about to be wiped out by the newcomers to the land. And the Lady Morgane gave them an exit. You can never have too many Stonehenge books, apparently. This one I'm guessing is also 80s, possibly 70s. It was $4. This was the third most expensive thing I bought. Published in 1991. But it has, like, you know, about the different various ages. Like before Stonehenge and then all the evidence and stuff. So again, this delves into the prehistory of this an artist warrior sketch of somebody at Stonehenge. But that would be the later Beaker people, I think. So there was a story in the Canadian exhibit, which was from England, obviously, about that they'd found like a mass grave or something, and all the DNA is no longer existing in the UK. So these people completely disappeared, which is not how I exactly tell the story of the Draco-Mora. There are still some coastal people who are both Draco-Mora and live on land as opposed to underwater. And there are some people who chose not to go and somehow survived and kept the stories going of the Draco-Mora. This was in the art section. Has absolutely nothing to do with writing, but PJ Redoute, however to say your name, does gorgeous, gorgeous illustrations of roses. So this is more of a put in the crafting journal. Oh, look at that one. In the journal side of things. So aren't they just lovely? So this comes under the heading of bought it because it was pretty, and hopefully I'll be brave enough to use it in my journal making. You might see one of these roses appear in Ida Thea's diary. Korea the Beautiful. The Treasures of the Hermit Kingdom. Now, one of these things does not look like the other. And this is because I went to Korea earlier this year. I went to a town called Gyeongju. This is $3. And this is from 1988 because it's in the honor of the Olympics. Gyeongju was the capital of the Shilla Kingdom, and the Shilla Kingdom was one of the three kingdoms. So, like, this is right after Korea was formed, which is all mythology, from what I've read. And the three kingdoms formed. Then they became one kingdom, Koryo Kingdom. But before they became the Koryo Kingdom, the Shilla Kingdom sort of like defeated Baekje and the Seventh Dwarf and ruled over the area. And there was lots of relationships with China and Japan at the time. What am I looking for? 182. I'm thinking Gyeongju is what they mean here. Yes, look, these are burial mounds. And, you know, there's a traditional village. You can go into one of the mounds. That's one of the oldest temples in the country. And all back from Shilla Kingdom time, which is pre 99.9% of your historical K-dramas. And I just fell in love with the place. This is an observatory that Queen Sondok built. She was one of three queens of the Shilla period. And it's just so much gold, so much bling. And so while I was there, walking what used to be the palace walls, or going through what used to be the palace walls, it's stunning. It's just a gorgeous place. And all this cloud hanging in over the mountains and everything. And I just thought like this would be a great idea for a time travel romance without hopefully appropriating too badly. One of the benefits of it being the Shiller period is that there is not a whole lot written about it. We know the basic history, we know who the kings were, we know Buddhism arrived, so we know kind of like the religion of the time. So it's just very interesting. I'll go back to the beginning. Like a very open time period to write. Look, there's the cat if you're a K-pop Demon Hunter fan. Can you see the cat? Look at the cat, isn't it cute? So it's a period of like the Dark Ages. Not a ton is known. It's almost prehistory, except there are Chinese writings, and there is annals of something or other. But again, that's Picture was the other kingdom. Again, it's just how do you, when you've just got like the royalty and the battles, and perhaps some treatying back and forth with China. Look at the sea dragons. Look. Ah. You just know you just have to do something with it. So it's really going to be more fantasy than historical. And hopefully my K-drama knowledge, I do love, which is Joseon, which is too late in the period. So I'm reading history books on it, but this gave me something to look at. I'm going back to Korea next year, so I think this is Shiller Kingdom. But again, a lot of it's religious text. This survived, and the pottery. Isn't it beautiful? This is Korea Kingdom. That's the one before. Here we are. Here is all the stuff they found in the tombs, etc. I found glass vessels. The one K-drama, there's two. One's called Queen Sondok, and you cannot get it outside of Korea at the minute. I've tried, or at least you can't get it in Australia. It has Kim Nam-gil playing the second male lead, sadly, and it charts her life and career, and it goes on for like Chinese drama episodes, number of episodes. So there's that one, and then there's this one called Huarang, and it has the guy from Itaewon Class in it, and it has the guy from, there's a serial coming up where he plays like a devil or a demon, and he was in Dr. Slump with Park Shin-hye. And it has one of the singers from SHINee, the rapper from SHINee, is in it, and he's actually quite adorable in it. So all these beautiful young men. How historic it is, the jury is really out on that. You get an idea of the fashion, but again, I'm not quite sure how much of that fashion, if you know your history, is just, updated for modern sensibilities. Look at that, isn't that pretty? And these decorative tiles. If you've watched a Regency, not Bridgerton, but someone who's trying to be historical, and you look at it and you go, no, if you know your Regency period costume, no, that's not right. But there aren't many pictures of, there's guys and horses. There doesn't need to be a whole lot of imagery when it comes to clothing of the period, I don't think. So yeah, so I got that because that's part of the serial that will come someday, not next year, maybe the year after, because here's the plan. The thing is, I'm wanting to bring back Horiath, which is classical era Greek/Roman. It's more heavily onto the Roman side, actually, of history's timeline. And so I want to do that once a month again. I'm thinking book 4 will come out probably in May of next year, or maybe early April. I mean late April, early May, potentially. I'll launch book 4, which I was going to call The Golden Web, and then K-pop Demon Hunters happened, so now it's A Soul for the World. I'm sure it's one of the 2 titles I've been thinking about. So it'll be called A Soul for the World. We'll wrap that up, and don't know how long that will be yet, because I'm still in the first part of the book. Maybe the first 4 chapters done, maybe. Sword for Wellington runs about 40, so I have a ways to go. Well, it's all handwritten, So I'm thinking of after I finish A Soul for the World, finish writing it and getting it ready to launch, that I will start. Maybe I'll work on this, the new idea, or maybe I'll go back to the old Arthurian idea, which does have a more Dragon connection. Although now that I've seen dragons in here, I could make it a dragon connection there too, couldn't I? I'm just brainstorming aloud now. So that is my thought, is to finish writing book 4, then we'll do a prequel around the time of King Arthur. It's going to be mostly around the Tristan Isolde story, but no Tristan, no Isolde, but Cornwall, King Mark, and Mordred, and because Mordred, I'm like, I'm no, right? More, that's C. That's, anyway, Mordred, and that story, and then maybe this Korean story. Somehow. I don't know how I put sea dragons in, because the sea dragons are specifically British sea dragons. They're from the UK. How they got all across the Atlantic and the Pacific to get to Korea, beyond me. Maybe maybe because in Horiath they're looking for a new home. Maybe this is the new home. This has stopped being a time travel. Anyway, it's very early days on that story. You know, Obsidian and Flame wraps up at the beginning of October, so that's when I'm planning to start once a month Horiath, but you know, Obsidian and Flame might have a season 2. We don't know. So there we go. That is my book haul. That was in total $47. This was the most expensive item, these 2 volumes. It's not even first edition, but at $15, I mean, you wouldn't get 1 volume for that in a regular place. Thank you for listening to me ramble and sharing my haul with you. And if you're here and you're not a subscriber, you're more than welcome to pop over and subscribe to the Mordred Iconic. Just let me pop that postcard up. Let's do some marketing. You're more than welcome to head on over. It's free to subscribe. I don't have a paid tier at all. So you can pop over there and subscribe and start reading from the beginning, A Grail from Idathea, or pick up one of the more recent serials that are limited. And have a great day. Bye.